Oh, you want more information about the Epstein files? Well, according to Donald Trump, that actually makes you hostile towards the Trump administration and the federal government.
So this is a Democrat hoax. It's a Democrat hoax. I call it the Epstein hoax. Epstein hoax. It's a hoax.
These files were made up by Comey. They were made up by Obama. They were made up by the Biden
Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna have introduced legislation to force the U.S. government to release all of the Epstein files. And Donald Trump said that this is considered a hostile act by Massie and Ro Khanna. Massie says that effectively the federal government is trying to threaten anyone, trying to bring transparency and get accountability for the victims of Jeffrey Epstein and his clients. Yeah, guy. Trump is looking more and more suspect every single day because I can't imagine a world where trying to release all of the Epstein files and demand accountability for people who engage in predatory behavior against minors and others would be considered a hostile act towards myself or anybody that I know. But then again, I wasn't best friends with Epstein, nor did I fly to his island, so maybe we just got two different points of view. Now, what's interesting about this is the same day the House Oversight Committee dropped 34,000 pages of Epstein files. And only 1% of those pages actually had new information, and the rest were highly redacted, despite the fact that they claimed that the point of releasing those files was to engage in full transparency with the public. So it wasn't a coincidence that those files dropped. It was part of the grand scheme to distract from the fact that Massie and Ro Khanna introduced this legislation, and the fact that Epstein's victims are now coming out and saying that they're going to produce their own list of all the clients that abused them. And that list is not just limited to the minors.
And let me announce now, several of us Epstein survivors have been discussing creating our own list of names. We know the names. Many of us were abused by them. Now together as survivors, we will confidentially compile the names we all know were regularly in the Epstein world. And it will be done by survivors and for survivors. No one else is involved. Stay tuned for more details on that.
But Trump says that this is a waste of time still. He said it's a Democratic conspiracy theory still, and that we should be focusing on more important things, like how he cleaned up DC. And what's crazy about that is, like, even if you did clean up DC, I'm not sure why y'all can make like $250,000 a year and not focus on your alleged achievements that don't exist, and simultaneously make sure that pedophiles don't get away with pedophiling. Just a thought. And if you were that concerned about your achievements, why wouldn't you want to add to your achievements the successful conviction of people from the Epstein client list? Now, very early this morning, Thomas Massie came out and said they have 214 signatures on the discharge petition, and he's 99% that they will get to the 218 that they need to force the vote. But he also believes that Speaker Johnson is going to try to change the rules of the House so that they can't force a vote. Now, the chairwoman says that they will not change the rules, but the fact that this conversation even has to be had shows you how sinister and how sick all of this actually is. Who are these people protecting? And why are people like even super MAGA Republican Anna Paulina admitting that there are rich and powerful people that need to go to jail, and that Epstein was likely working for the intelligence community of a quote-unquote adversarial government?
But it is very much so a possibility that Jeffrey Epstein was an intelligence asset working for our adversaries. But also, too, I think the questions that we have is how much did our own government know about it?
And as far as the U.S. government is concerned, why in the actual fuck does anyone need to be convinced to release files about a pedophile? Like, damn, bro, politics is really worth your soul? That loyalty to Trump is really worth your soul? Or are these people genuinely worried that the consequences extend to the realms outside of politics, outside of political clout, and that their lives genuinely may be in danger if they decide to go along? And if that's the case, then things are worse than we thought.